Monday Night Raw, March the 10th, 2024. No, it's 2025, goddammit. I am MagMongoSlade. Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We're going to talk about Raw from Madison Square Garden. So, as a show, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't that bad. I think the highs really hit high, and the lows were not as bad as usual. But that one match, oh my God, we're going to talk about it definitely. But let's start off with news and notes. They put out John Cena merchandise, but it's babyface John Cena merchandise. It's one last time the champ is here merchandise, which asks the question, how long did they plan this heel turn? We've been having people chirping in our ears that this was not last minute, that it was planned for months and months. It was planned since October. It was planned since John Cena first started talking about the losing streak. But why are they still putting out merchandise as if John Cena is a good guy? His appearance next week is going to have all new merchandise. An entire slew of babyface merchandise, which includes socks. I'm pretty sure you didn't sit around the table and design brand new John Cena merchandise, which includes "You Can't See Me" socks, and you were planning to turn him heel. It's looking like that was a break glass in case of emergency kind of situation. Now, and that's because marketing needs to be done months in advance. All right? This is why they don't want wrestlers to cut their hair. This is why they don't want wrestlers changing gear that often. They want things to be pretty uniform for the video games and the merchandise and all that kind of stuff. How Spider-Man has to look pretty much the same, with minor tweaks here and there. Superman, minor tweaks here and there, but the character's supposed to be recognizable. Same thing for wrestlers. The idea that they turned John Cena heel right before this big merchandise push. Either that. Now let's throw some bill. Let's say that they did plan to do it months ago, and in the marketing department were just kind of like, we're going to put the shit out anyway, right? We're going to put it out anyway because there's bound to be still some Cena believers out there, and we're going to put that stuff out anyway. Because it's going to be collector's edition stuff, which is what they're hoping for, is that you're going to buy that stuff and then put it in a bag somewhere and then resell it in 10 years. That's probably the audience now. I don't think they expect you to buy that stuff and then wear it in the arena. If that's the case, then they're pretty sure they can recover whatever they're going to lose in merchandise by the end of this thing, which basically tells you they're going to turn back babyface before it's over. Which, of course, I think everybody knows that he's going to end up being babyface before this whole thing is over. But I think it's weird that they would put out more babyface merchandise, especially when the heel merchandise might be better. But then again, he hasn't done anything yet to monetize. Like, it's just been his Clint Eastwood mug. But that's the only news and notes that I can think of at the moment. Let's get into this cage match. CM Punk, Seth Rollins. Oh, what a finisher fest this thing was. How many finishers do you think they pulled out in this match? If the answer is all of them, yes. They used Randy Savage's finisher. They used Barry Windham's finisher. They used John Cena's finisher. They used each other's finishers. They did all the finishers. They did all finishers possible in this match, for God's sake. Of course, once you then started stacking all these finishers on top of each other, eventually you come up with a pretty good match. But there was a decent sequence there. I don't want to call it a sequence because a sequence is kind of like what Omega or Ospreay would do. This was sort of I guess you could say a mid-match story. So CM Punk hits the GTS, the second GTS of the match. Rollins kicks out of it. He goes for a third one. The third one is countered into the STFU, which is what Punk lost to at Elimination Chamber. Punk counters that into the Anaconda Vice. Rollins tries to get to the ropes, but he can't. Well, there's no rope break because it's a cage match. So he has to fight out of it. And he uses his knees, and, he's digging in Punk's eyes. Punk gets eventually lets him go. As he's selling, Rollins hits him with a stomp. Only gets a 2. Then he continues hitting a GTS of his own, and then a stomp of his own. Rollins still only gets a 2. I mean, they were just stretching this thing out. They were just beating the hell out of each other. At some point, there was a third GTS, and Rollins kicked out of that, of course. Punk was just going to leave. Like, okay, look, we've used all of our finishers. We've done everybody else's finisher. I'm out of here. As he's leaving, we got a, "You want this? You're going to take it from me, you asshole." And Punk is like, "Who are you talking to?" So he closes the door, he comes back in, they continue to fight. Rollins gets the upper hand on Punk with a second rope stomp. So he comes off the second rope, stomps Punk. Didn't go for the pin, however. He goes over to because he's on the second rope, he just basically falls back into the door. Because the door is open, Roman Reigns snatches Seth Rollins through the ring ropes onto the floor, gives him a Superman punch, a spear, and a stomp on the floor. Says he's going to end Seth Rollins, put Seth Rollins' head on them metal stairs, and he's going to run and stomp it. But then here comes Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce and his goony goo-goos, they get in the way. "No, we don't want you to do that. You can't have fun. Stop. We need Seth Rollins for some reason. We don't know what it is yet." And as they're in the way doing their thing, Paul Heyman, the benched seal that he is, slithers into the ring, and he's checking on CM Punk. He's concerned about CM Punk. And Roman Reigns looks at this, side-eyes this, gets upset, goes in the ring, and decides he's going to beat up CM Punk too. Throws him against the cage. I think he even speared him or gave him a Superman punch or something like that. Left him laying in the ring. So there's your triple threat match. The build-up. Punk is going to be pissed that Rollins won the cage match because of Roman, on top of Roman putting his hands on him. And, of course, Seth and Roman have a blood feud going. I am disappointed. I am so disappointed at this very lazy booking. Extremely lazy. Look, the best thing about this, the match was pretty damn good. To be honest. Outside of all the finishers, which I wasn't a big fan of, I thought the match was pretty good. It built up to a nice dramatic finish. It was a cop-out finish, but it was a legitimate finish. Punk didn't want to do the job, of course. He didn't want to take the pin. So Rollins wins in a sneaky way. But I like that they did not play Roman's theme song when he was coming to the ring. What they did do, however, is they let the crowd build. So as the camera is on Rollins, and it was on Rollins for an abnormal amount of time, so that's how you know something was about to happen. You could hear the crowd start to roar even more. And eventually you just see Roman snatch Rollins through the ropes. Again, I don't have a problem with this match, this cage match. I like that they built it up throughout the night by showing other great cage matches at Madison Square Garden. Ivan Koloff versus Bruno Sammartino, Ted DiBiase, and Macho Man Randy Savage. It's like, yeah, okay. This is not that, but yeah, sure. One of these things is not like the other, but yeah, okay. I don't know why you couldn't focus on this feud. They did show a one vignette, but it would have been nice if they could have cut promos on each other or something, That's a big Triple H problem. He refuses to build the main events. Refuses to build the main events. So the Paul Heyman angle is in here. Heyman and Punk are going to have an issue because of how Roman Reigns has handled Punk. So I guess the favor is going to come into play, not before WrestleMania, but probably at WrestleMania, where they're going to start talking about what Paul owes Punk. And hopefully this doesn't become some stupid thing where Punk uses the favor to get to the main event and Paul just delivers it to him. You know, that would be the shits. I would hate that. It would be exactly what Punk wants, but I'm thinking, if you're a CM Punk, you got to be a better mastermind than this. Why put yourself in a triple threat match that really doesn't add anything? And that's the thing that bothers me the most. Not just that it's a garbage triple threat match, but that there's nothing on the line. There's literally no reason to care, right? Even if they make it a number one contenders match or something like that, a loser leaves town or something, that would be the only way of being interesting. If somebody's got to go for a year. Like, that's where we would do like a territory thing. Like, that was the best thing about territories. They would do a loser leaves town match, and the guy would be gone legitimately for like a year or 6 months or something like that. Or they would do a straight up, you have to leave for 90 days kind of gimmick. You know? That you could pull something like that in this match. Like the person who gets pinned is suspended or has to leave for 6 months or whatever. And it will give anybody an opportunity to freshen up. You know, Rollins, if he wants to come back differently. Punk, if you want to beat him. And then, you know, he comes back in the middle of John Cena's big run as the champion without him being on TV, you know, screwing around, doing nothing. But 6 months from April would be October. So that would be right into Survivor Series. So that would be, you know, interesting. But maybe you might not want to do that. But that's something that I would consider doing in order to make this thing interesting is raise the stakes if we're going to have this triple threat match. I mean, I'm already fighting against a wave of people who want it. I don't want this, right? Do I want Rollins versus Reigns one-on-one? No. I do want Punk versus Roman one-on-one. I don't see why Rollins needs to be involved. Rollins can go do something else, as far as I'm concerned. But Triple H does not have the stones that his father-in-law had. There's no way I don't think Vince makes a triple threat match with no title. Like, there's just... I don't see the purpose of that. But like I said, you want to raise the stakes a little bit, I'm willing to go with you. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do like a loser leaves or something like that. They're just not going to do it. So we're stuck with this. Punk's going to get what he wants, finally. The main event of WrestleMania, but it's going to be the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. To which people are going to say, that's not the real WrestleMania main event. Okay. I don't even care. I honestly do not care. I gotta say, Rollins did pretty good here. So, can't complain. He worked his ass off. Punk worked his ass off too. But it was just a bunch of guys spamming finishers. I mean, what more can you do? So there was an in-ring segment between Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. It's painfully obvious to me that not only is this also a triple threat match, which again, I'm fighting against the wave here, but it's pretty obvious that they're turning Bianca Belair heel. And they're making that more and more obvious by the moment. I know she didn't want it, so it seems like she's gotten her marching papers that she doesn't really have a choice. If they're flipping Cena, they're going to flip her too. So, I'm going to just shorten this thing up. Bianca kind of sort of apologized to Rhea for getting involved, but said that Rhea put her hands on her. Rhea comes out, says that She was scared to fight her, so she interfered in the match, cost Rhea the title. The two of them got into it because Rhea kept bringing up Jade and Naomi. They were in each other's faces. You know, Rhea saying that Bianca is scared of her. They shoved Io to the side because she's very tiny, but she's the champion. They go back and forth, basically saying that they're going to fight. Io squeezes in between them and she smacks Rhea in the face. And before she can do anything else, she smacks Bianca as well. And she storms off, basically saying, I'm the champion. You can't ignore me. I'm not the third wheel in this thing. But she is the third wheel in this thing. We don't need Io in this. We really don't. Again, this is Triple H not having the stones to just move this girl out of the way. Now, granted, the storyline between Rhea and Bianca wouldn't be as strong if Bianca hadn't cost Rhea the title. But I still don't like the triple threat idea. To me, it's such a handicap that, oh my God, we don't know what to do. Just make it a triple threat match. Yay, you fixed the problem all of a sudden. Come on, man. This is so fucking lazy, bro. It's the shits. It really is. Almost. So you're about to have a WrestleMania show where both, because this is likely going to be on the night one show too, where at least two of the top matches are going to be triple threat matches. That's just lazy, my guy. Even if you're going to have a triple threat match, why are you having two of them? You can't get Bianca versus Rhea one-on-one, and we can't get Roman versus Punk one-on-one. Like, what kind of WrestleMania are you booking where the biggest matches possible are not possible? What are you doing? You know, like, really, what are you doing? And your thought process is probably going to be, well, there's Backlash. There's whatever event comes up in June. This is WrestleMania. It should be your number one player versus your number two player. Or your 1A versus 1B. That's Bianca and Rhea. I know that you think Io is on this level. And you would like for her to be on that level. But no. People want to see the girls in a horse fight. I know you think Seth Rollins should be in this conversation. I know you want Seth Rollins in this conversation. But what people want is Roman versus Punk. They've wanted that match for 10 years. And you're telling me that the first time they're going to wrestle is going to be in a fucking triple threat match? Booker of the Year. Nonsense. Let's move on. Let's just move on. So Finn Balor is going to wrestle Braun Breaker next week for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker cut a promo giving Finn props for his legacy and said that his legacy makes him a threat. He's about to have one of these out-of-body experiences when he faces an athlete that's well beyond him, and says that the athlete within Braun Breaker respects Finn Balor, but the dog in him can smell fear. I like the idea. Next week, Intercontinental Championship in Belgium. Finn Balor versus Braun Breaker. Okay. I thought it was going to try to drag this to WrestleMania, but they're going to do it a little bit faster. It's a good match for Raw. I don't think it's going to be the main event, though. It should be, but I don't think it will be. The issue here that I have is Finn Balor didn't do anything to earn this match. It was Dominic Mysterio politicking. They got this match happening. Like, it would have been nice if Finn Balor was, like, winning matches, and that's how he got the Intercontinental Championship shot. That would have been nice, but we're not afforded those opportunities of Finn Balor winning matches and, you know, gaining momentum. Just like you're not afforded the opportunity of Braun Breaker winning matches and being featured in all these good things. These things are for Raquel Rodriguez, apparently, which we're gonna get into that in a second. So Chad Gable appears during the Tornado Tag match, which I was enjoying. The second match on the show was New Day versus Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee. This match was actually pretty goddamn solid. There was some tables and stuff like that happened in here. There was a pre-cut table. Like, come on. Why are you trying to do that? Why are you doing pre-cut tables? I mean, these guys are heavy. Are you think they're not heavy enough to break the table? Because I assure you, Ray is the smallest man in the match. He can break a table, okay? But the bionic Rey Mysterio with his new stem cell body is next level. He's same old Ray. He's not, 1997 Ray, but he's as close to 2013 Ray as you're going to get, And Dragon Lee, of course, is phenomenal as well. I particularly liked the Rey Mysterio Kofi spots that they were doing. I thought they were fun. A masked guy jumped the barricade, attacked the luchadors, beat up both Ray and Dragon Lee, leading to the New Day winning. Before he leaves, the masked man says, "Gracias," which of course gave it away while doing Chad Gable's finger pose. So later, Chad Gable was found in the exact gear that the masked man was wearing, but proclaiming that he didn't know anything about the masked guy, saying that the security here is pathetic. It's really, really bad, and they should have grabbed that fan. This is where Kathy Kelly was actually pulling a mean Gene Okerlund. She was calling them out. And then you see backstage that there is a masked man wearing a USA mask, a American mask, being shepherded out by security to let you believe that Chad Gable was right. It was not him this entire time. And it was okay. It was an okay storyline. Everybody knew he was getting a mask. Why he paid so much for the mask is hilarious to me. He really could just call Mask Maniac and paid a fraction of the cost. He could have got like 10 masks for whatever he paid for this one mask, So I thought people thought it was weird when the Ezekiel story happened. Like, everybody remembers that, right? Where Elias had a brother named Ezekiel, and he was lying about being Ezekiel and all this stuff. And everybody thought this storyline is stupid. It was a stupid, dumb storyline. Why would you do that? Everybody knows it's the same guy. It's like everybody knows that Chad Gable is the man in the mask. Everyone knows that. Okay? The fun part is proving it. The audience clearly knows. And I think I talked about this before at the time. What made that gimmick work? And it was working before Triple H came in and stuck his big old gigantic fucking nose in it. What makes it work is it's an inside joke that the fans are in on. This has happened quite a few times. Dusty Rhodes would do the gimmick called the Midnight Rider, where he would lose one of those matches where he had to leave Florida or whatever for 90 days or whatever, and he'd just come back under a mask, And everybody would know it was Dusty. The heel would know it was Dusty, but he couldn't prove it. They would do something similar in Mid-South with Stagger Lee and the Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog would lose one of those loser leaves town matches. But then, Stagger Lee would show up, and it's Junkyard Dog in a mask. And the crowd knows it's Junkyard Dog in a mask. The heels know it's Junkyard Dog in the mask, but they can't prove it. So when they actually do take his mask off, it's like Ray Candy or something, right? So it's a fun gimmick that Triple H killed when Elias was doing it. And now he's bringing it back for Chad Gable. The problem is this is kind of a comedic gimmick. And what got Chad Gable over was being a lot more serious. So it's now he's back to being silly. Okay, sure, whatever. Match 3, the worst match on the show. One of the worst matches in a long time. Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley. The number one contendership for the women's Intercontinental title. What a disaster this was. It seemed to me, and I was already in the margins saying, Bayley has no real path to WrestleMania, so clearly she's going to win this match, And you're going to end up with a Bayley Lyra Valkyria match for WrestleMania because that's sensible. You know, Lyra lost to Bayley a couple of weeks ago, right? And I remember being very upset about that, but this is circling the wagons. You just put Bayley back in that situation and Lyra can get her win back. And then they decided, we're not doing that. That's too much like right. What we're going to do is we're going to have Raquel bore you for 12 minutes. I mean, it was the most boring match. This made me not want to see Raquel at all. The crazy thing is, it was not like this. When she was in NXT, she was actually fine. You know, it wasn't this. What happened to get us to Tamina? She's Tamina at this point. That's how bad Raquel is at right now. She's Tamina level. And it wasn't like this. Remember, she used to be super over in NXT. And she didn't do much except powerbomb people a lot. You know, she was very much the female Diesel. But now on the main roster, my God, she gets no fucking reaction. She gets an anti-reaction. She gets an allergic reaction. People just can't sit still. They're just like, I got to go. They just get up and start going to the bathroom. They changing the channel while they're in the building. You know, like this guy, my goodness, you think that they just saw the Twin Towers fall. Everybody was just dead fucking silent. Just dead silent. I'm hearing, I'm hearing people have phone conversations, and this is ridiculous. Triple H has ruined Bayley for me. Bayley doesn't even get a reaction anymore. That's how he has pushed her so hard that she's not over anymore. That's the sick part. They don't even react to Bayley anymore. God damn. Remember they used to love Bayley, right? They used to sing to Bayley. Well, they still do in Canada and Europe. But the Americans now look at Bayley and start rolling their eyes. Man, po Auntie Pam. It ain't you, baby. I promise. It's Triple H. He sucks. So clearly, the Judgment Day screwed Bayley. Raquel wins. She's going to wrestle Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship. Something tells me they're probably going to put the belt on Raquel. Why? Why do I say that? Well, from the looks of things, these guys are borrowing a lot of storylines from the past. So, one of the storylines from the past is Diesel he won pretty much all the belts in 1 year. I think he won the Intercontinental title, and he won the tag team belts, and he won the world title. All in 1 year. And I believe he was the Intercontinental Champion and the Tag Team Champion at the same time. So something tells me they're probably going to try to recreate that with Raquel. Which will, of course, make Liv Shawn Michaels. Which means, of course, they're setting up Raquel becomes a big single star and Liv gets jealous. And I can see those seeds being planted. The problem is Raquel's not over. Nobody likes her, which is unfortunate because she seemed like a very nice young lady. I'm pretty sure she uses her left and right turn signals. I'm sure she keeps her grass cut. I'm sure that all of her friends are mild-mannered, good-natured pillars of the community. But I do not want to watch her wrestle. I do not want to see her wrestling matches. So hopefully I'm wrong and they don't try to do this. You don't try to do old big mommy cool. No. No. Don't do it. Okay. Lyra Valkyria cut a not great promo as well. It was very boring. Very bland. It seemed like that was for certain people on Netflix. Cody Rhodes was here. He popped up on the show. His eye looks worse than ever. His eye somehow got worse. He said he was not going to miss out on being in the home base of WWE, the mecca of sports and entertainment. Says that Cena will be in Belgium next week. Says that there's 20,000 people in this building, or 17,000 or whatever. So Cena says he knows what's best for business, but maybe the business has changed. Says he's going to beat the hell out of his hero, and number 17 will not happen. I gotta admit, I zoned out during this promo. There's a big chunk of this promo I did not pay attention to. Because I don't think it pertained to John Cena at all. I don't think it increased the heat of this story at all. It was just Cody yapping. So, sorry, Cody. I don't care. I don't care enough. 2 weeks. You run this really hot angle, and then the guy's fucking gone for 2 weeks. Come on. Logan Paul comes out. They have a really great angle with him. He gets such tremendous heat. He comes out. I stopped paying attention to him too, but he did tell The Rock that his soul was for sale and that he does not associate with people like AJ Styles. He then went outside the ring to antagonize this mustached man. I don't know what the mustache man does. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he does. I think they said he's a comedian, but he wasn't funny. Is he a podcaster? I don't know. If he's a podcaster, he shouldn't be in the building. He should be at home podcasting. But in any event, the podcaster and Logan Paul, they get into it. The podcaster says they want to see real wrestlers like AJ Styles. So Logan Paul snatches the guy from over the barricade. He's going to do something bad to him. AJ Styles makes the save. And the crowd was hot as fuck for this, right? They're really into Logan Paul. They hate his guts. It might be go away heat, but they hate his guts, right? And AJ Styles looked like a superhero coming in there, hitting a phenomenal forearm and saving him. Very simple. Don't mind that at all. It looks like we're going this way for WrestleMania, and the crowd is eating it up. New York ate it up, so I'm all for it. Penta and Ludwig Kaiser both had promos about fear. They're going to have a no-holds-barred match. Notice, Penta's singles push slowed down soon as they started talking about Phoenix becoming available, right? Remember, Penta used to be on TV every week. He was on TV like the first 3 weeks. He was winning all the time. And then he hasn't been on TV in a little while now. And he lost the last match he was in, which was a triple threat match. I know he's probably been wrestling on Main Event or something like that, but amazing how they cooled his jets. Soon as it became kind of clear that Phoenix is going to be released from AEW. And so now he's going to get this match with Ludwig Kaiser, try to, tie a bow on this thing. But it seems to me like the singles push for Penta is in the gutter, which it did not need to be. He should be rightfully, because he's the only guy who has been pushed lately, in a match for the Intercontinental Championship. Finn Balor, who never wins, is going to get that match. But Penta, who's only lost a triple threat match for no good reason, is not going to get that match. Instead, he's going to have to fight Ludwig Kaiser. I like Ludwig Kaiser. Big fan. Somebody dared say to me last week, you think that Ludwig Kaiser's better than Gunther? But Gunther's the world champion, and you don't think Kaiser's going to be the world champion. Yeah. Because Kaiser doesn't book himself. Triple H has to see the talent there. And he clearly doesn't. Otherwise, Kaiser would be higher on the card right now. But everybody can't be at the top at the same time. So it's okay. It's all right. I'm not losing any sleep. I don't know how old Kaiser is, but he ain't 40. So he'll be fine. He's got a few more years, a decade or so, in order to catch up. And maybe Triple H will pull his head out of his ass. And Kaiser will be world champion one day. Maybe not. Because he ain't pulled his head out of his ass over Austin Theory yet. So match 1, Jey Uso defeats Grayson Waller. I was more impressed with Grayson Waller. The thing is, Grayson Waller, his strong suit is his charisma and personality. Whenever you put him in a position that robs him of his opportunity to show his personality, you are diminishing him. I understand you want to put him in the matches, but he should at least be able to cut a promo on the way to the ring or before the match or something. So he can get some heat and go out there and do it. It only enhances the bumps and stuff that he's going to go out there and take. And somebody, please sit this guy down and tell him he does not need any sort of rolling in and out of the ring offense. Please tell him to stop. Anything that if you ever think that you need to roll into the ring to do a flatliner, Michael Cole, not a DDT. Like, why would you do anything from a rolling position from outside the ring? But if he can get his moveset together and maybe, change his look up a little bit, Grayson Waller could be money. I mean, he really could be. He loses to Jey Uso, who is, he's Jey Uso, okay? After the match, Austin Theory attacks Jey. Jey fights off Theory and Waller before being choked out by Gunther. And that's it. That's pretty much the only thing they've done to hype up the World Heavyweight Championship match that they had. Gunther attack Jey Uso. And then Jey Uso went backstage and he got kissed by Otis. He kissed him in the back of the head. Like you kiss your son or something. Very weird. Kind of inappropriate. Next week, Jey Uso is going to be wrestling Austin Theory. Which is fine. Why is Gunther wrestling Alpha Academy and Jey Uso is wrestling A-Town Down Under? Does this feel like a main event world championship feud to you? Because it don't feel like that to me. It doesn't feel like anything other than personal pride is on the line in this match. It feels like Gunther is, this big top star who's hazing some rookie or something. But I think Jey Uso's career is longer than Gunther's. He's older than Gunther, more well-known than Gunther. And Gunther is the one who's been winning all these matches, and he seemed to be the less over of the two. And he's the one carrying the belt. This is definitely one of those situations where I kind of feel bad for Gunther. He's a good, solid world champion. Can have really good matches. He's a decent talker, but his sense of humor is very dry. He comes across a lot like a Klitschko, of boxing fame, where he's not as humorous as Mirko Cro Cop or one of the Klitschkos. He has a little bit more of a sense of humor, but he comes from that sort of school of Eastern European, even though I think he's from the Western European, sense of, rigidness and inflexibility. But he's able to show a little bit of personality. And instead of allowing that to come through, or at least leaning into being the machine that Gunther can be, which would make him a lot like Mirko Cro Cop or like one of the Klitschkos, where he is completely humorless and focused, like a seek and destroy kind of thing, which might actually help in this storyline because Jey Uso is so silly. He's such a, as he called him, a cartoon character that's showing a different side of Gunther, where he's completely the other way. He's in the gym working out. That's the kind of stuff we should be watching, like Rocky montages with Gunther in the gym while Jey is out yeeting and all this, that's showing people like what Jey Uso is up against. But we just put him in a sleeper, which is a boring move. I'm tired of watching people get choked out, man. It's so boring. Why can't he just do something? I don't know, hit him with a chair. Hit him with a lariat. Powerbomb. No, don't powerbomb him. Big boot. Something. I'm going to put him in a sleeper hold. Oh, God. Lord, no, don't do that. Anyway, that's Monday Night Raw. I gotta tell you, I enjoyed the Logan Paul AJ Styles segment. I thought that was fun. I liked the Tornado Tag Team match. I thought that was fun too. I liked the EO, Bianca, and Rhea Ripley segment. I thought that was pretty good, and I liked the main event. That's the bulk of the show. The Tornado Tag match was good too, but yeah, I'll give that a pass too. The only thing I really genuinely hated was Raquel versus Bayley. I hated that. And I don't think we really needed Cody Rhodes on this show either. Again, I don't think Cody has hit the right mark in terms of what he should be saying to John Cena, because he's arguing with somebody who has said nothing. You know, you want to talk about what's best for business? 20,000 people, 20,000 screaming souls in this building. I think we know what's best for business. He didn't say anything about that. You know, he hasn't said anything yet. You're replying to things that were not said. That's the goofy shit about this. You got Cody replying to stuff that has not been said. If they would just here's how you could have fixed this problem. John Cena does a shocking heel turn, correct? What they should have done before John Cena left to do his movie, Michael Cole and John Cena should have had a sit down. They could have done this the same fucking night or the next morning and filmed 10 minutes of material of Michael Cole saying, John, what's going on? And then you put it out in 90-second snippets on Raw, on SmackDown, of John Cena saying, I'll explain fully the next time I come in, but here's what I'm thinking. You know, trying to explain it. So then Cody can go out there and reply. But you got Cody replying to things that has not been said. You know? Just, you know, he didn't say he did this because it was best for business. He didn't say anything like that. So who is Cody talking to? What is Cody talking about? And then I lose interest in this story the longer John Cena is not in it. Because there's nothing else going on that is as interesting. Like, I don't understand why you would do such a huge angle and then not prepare for the guy to not be around. And you know he's not going to be around. So, but that just goes to show I don't think that they planned on it. Going back full circle, I'm not sure that they fully planned this thing. But they got to make it right. Everybody is doing, like, this thing has been 2 weeks of headcanon, right? 2 weeks of people on Twitter coming up with their own new theme song for John. And what is he going to wear? Tights? He's going to wear jorts. He's going to have a new theme song. Going through his entire fucking album, looking for new theme songs for him. They're using the same render on everything because they didn't prepare a damn thing. Nothing was prepared. And still, even if you did it at the last minute, you still had a certain amount of time to get something. Even if you didn't want to do the John Cena is wearing a suit and does a sit down with Michael Cole to explain himself. Or at least talk through why he might have done something like this. Or why he doesn't think this is a bad thing at all. It might actually be a good thing. They could have at least gotten a raving lunatic John Cena backstage while he's sweating and yelling and played that so Cody can respond to it. But you gotta give us something. You can't have this stuff happening and then 2-3 weeks later there's nothing. I call this the Walking Dead method of storytelling. One thing happens and then you disappear for 2 weeks. And then as soon as people start getting pissed, and something else happens now. You only got 6 weeks from now to WrestleMania, bro. And John Cena is the hottest thing you got going, and he's not on your show. And not only is he not on your show, there has been absolutely nothing. Not a video package. from him, I'm saying, like, to build upon the storyline. It's just been Cody out there with a black eye. Travis Scott, final boss. Like, he's not, it's not working, man. It ain't working. I know they're trying to do the Cody Rhodes thing. It's trying to be like, I'm here. John Cena isn't. He's too busy wearing a skirt in his movies. Yeah. Too busy bowing down to Xi Jinping. Yeah. Who cares, Cody? Where is John Cena? That's what everybody's saying. Like, where is John Cena? You know, Roman Reigns is nice and all, but they're throwing him in this stupid ass triple threat match. CM Punk is great, but he's also in this dumb ass triple threat match. You're burying all your stars. Roman shows up when he feels like it. Punk wrestles sometimes. And now you're about to crowd everybody in this goddamn triple threat match. And the hottest thing you got going is 50-year-old John Cena, who has not appeared in 2 weeks. And Cody just came out there just to tell us that he'll be here next week. So that means he's not going to be on SmackDown either. Thanks. So now we got to sit through 3 hours of SmackDown. For what? For Cody to come out and cut another promo about something somebody else has said that it's not John Cena. And that's the weird thing. Like, you got both John Cena and The Rock. Neither one of them has said a goddamn thing. The Rock put out a goddamn YouTube video that's just a highlight package of what happened and fan reactions and him being exceedingly proud of himself for being in the middle of this. Everybody wants to pat themselves on the back for what they're doing. Meanwhile, all the fans are sitting around like, come on. You guys have been self-congratulating for 2 weeks. Enough. Let's move this thing along. We got a WrestleMania to build. All right. Talk to you guys later.